Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News today. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Joy News. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Media Foundation for West Africa accuses President Akufo-Addo of abusing Section 5(1) of the RTI law as the presidency rejects its request for full KPMG report on the SML deal.
The question then is, what is the president hiding from the people? Because if what he communicated to us is basically the essentials of the report, what is the difficulty in communicating that to us?
More as the Ghana Integrity Initiative expresses worry over what it describes as a lack of political will to fight corruption.
It is unfortunate because these are some of the perceptions that fuel the results that we get in most of our surveys.
Former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo has meanwhile described as unfortunate the clash between the OSP Iyoko and the AG, adding it is doing the public more harm than good.
So we have so many institutions at times fighting, therefore fighting each other and will not collaborate or cooperate with each other, as a result of which we don't see the right thing to be done.
As Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia urges African countries to learn from Ghana's use of digitalization in fighting corruption.
It suggests that a significant percentage of people who have contact with a public official will most likely pay a bribe or be asked to, and presently it's the younger people aged between 25 to 34 who are the groups most likely to pay bribes, with more than 60% of Africans under 25 years.
We have details as the Vice President claims digitalization has helped eliminate more than 50,000 ghost names from the National Service Scheme and SNIT payroll, saving the country more than 400 million cedis. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, and X Spaces at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Danana Aisha. Please do stay for details. Assembly members in the Ashanti region have kicked against a directive of the local government ministry on the fixing of end-of-service gratuity for members of the previous assemblies. Per the directive, members are to receive between 2,000 and 3,000 cedis for their 4-year service to the metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. While contesting the amount, the assembly members say it is unlawful for the ministry to fix the amounts to be paid. Nanaya Ojima was at the press conference of the group and has filed this report.
According to the Ashanti Regional Chapter of the Ghana Association of Assembly Members, the directive by the Ministry of Local Government, which suggests the end of service gratuity, is in contradiction with the Local Government Act. To them, Section 11, subsection 2 of the Act as quoted to back the directive does not apply to the subject being discussed. Spokesperson for the group, Isaac Menu, explains the law mandates an assembly which comprises its members to fix the emoluments paid from the internally generated fund.
The sixth section mandates various assemblies to pay the presiding member and the assembly members' end of service benefits through the internally generated fund without recourse to any directives from the ministry or from any other person, but from our own resources. If the minister is acting on precedence, then we are equally drawing his attention to the fact that such directives does not exist in our local governance law, Act 936 of 2016. Payment of ex gratia is at the dispense of various assemblies, not the ministry.
The members also say the Act establishing local government systems clearly stipulates the minister's role, of which emolument fixing is not part. They are worried about the disregard for the local government system, imploring the ministry to withdraw the directive.
We clearly want the recommendation from such a committee that directed that honorable members' end of service benefits should be determined by the minister responsible for that ministry. Honorable members and media gathered, we have since the inception of the Fourth Republic seen a trend where local governance is demeaning. We have realized that the framers of the Constitution disregarded the many contributions that decentralization, quote and unquote, honorable members play in the affairs of governance. We strongly want to drum home our quest to revisit the directive by the minister and leave governance at the local level to those that matters.
The group also says the amount directed to be paid for their service is inadequate.
Again, GAM will not accept these restrictive orders for a partly 3,000 for Metropolitan Honorable Assembly members, 2,500 for municipal members, and 2,000 for District Assembly members. We demand equal justice as is being done by members of Parliament at the end of their 4-year service to Mother Ghana. We cannot be treated anyhow. We reject in no uncertain terms this amount of money and directs all MMDAs not to accept any directive by the minister. We have been shortchanged for too long. Just a quick reminder, if you are working or an assembly member and you are in the Metropolitan Assembly, every day, if they are to go by, we are to go by their 3,000. Every day you are being paid 2 cedis, 0.8 pesos. A month you are being paid 62 cedis, 50 pesos. For a year you are being paid per annum, that is a year, you are being paid 750 for a full year service. And then for the whole 4-year term you are being paid 3,000. When we go to the municipal, that is even worse. You are being paid 1 cedi, 74 pesos a day. You are being paid 52.083 pesos a month. You are being paid 625 Ghana cedis a year. And you are being paid 2,500 cedis for your 4-year term. And then the district one, I don't want to even talk about.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Let's stay in the Ashanti region because this afternoon the Electoral Commission is giving notice to the individuals and political party agents against any form of disturbances in the ongoing limited voter registration exercise across the country. The police yesterday arrested 3 individuals for alleged disruption of the registration process at Tepa in the Ashanti region. The arrested individuals, Abbas Abubakar, George Veno, and Abdul Karim, were allegedly involved in a physical altercation which resulted in a temporary disturbance. The EC says although the incident did not happen inside the registration center, individuals must not engage in any form of chaos that will disrupt the registration exercise. Benjamin Banobio is Ashanti Regional EC boss.
The first 2 days of the limited voters registration exercise did witness some challenges, including internet and technical hitches affecting the registration process, leaving some first-time applicants stranded. But the Electoral Commission here in the Ashanti region says it is resorting to not just online registration, but offline registration to make sure the first-time applicants do get their voters' ID card on time. Benjamin Banobio is the Ashanti Regional EC boss.
There are certain things that are beyond the control of the Commission, and one of them is the internet stability. The first day we experienced initial instability with our internet connectivity. It came back and then we were able to work after 11 o'clock thereabout. Yesterday too we have a similar experience during the afternoon. And later on it came and then we continue to work. But to every plan, there should be a plan B. When the situation is such that we cannot control the internet connectivity issues, Commission issued a directive that we go offline. We'll be using offline until such time that the connectivity issue is restored. So that anyone who comes to register will have the opportunity to do so. It is not in our interest to see people queuing at our offices waiting to be registered. Some people came day one, they came day two again, and today they are there. So Commission in his wisdom and in his quest to ensure that all the people who are qualified when they come to us are covered, has indicated or issued a directive that we go offline to enable us to register all the qualified applicants who come to our registration centers.
On the second day of the registration exercise at the Tepa district, the Ghana Police Service did arrest some 3 persons alleged to have caused chaos at the district where the registration exercise was taking place. The Electoral Commission says the alleged chaos did not happen at its center, but it is cautioning persons against causing any form of disruption in the ongoing registration process.
Nobody should even dare to try to disrupt the process, because the security is there and the security will take up such people, and they will not even allow them to get closer to our centers. As you indicated in Tepa, they were not allowed to even get to the registration centers. I don't know the location where the disturbances took place, but it was not at our place. And the security are there. Every center you go, you will meet no less than 5 police officers. They are there to protect the people there and to protect their equipment. And nobody will be permitted to disrupt our programs.
But the Ashanti Regional EC boss Benjamin Banobio is cautioning political party agents against busing of first-time applicants to its centers. It says that although it has no official report on this particular incident, party agents should not resort to busing of first-time applicants to various registration centers.
We do not encourage political parties that are busing people, and I have not seen political parties doing that yet. But that is not the position of the Commission for political parties to bus people. We do not encourage that, and we warn them. In fact, we told them during our meeting at the Rai Park and at Dai Park. And so the buses, you see, they are all commercial buses, and these are buses. Some of them come in groups, and then they board those buses and come to the centers. We have not observed or seen the political parties doing that, but when you see that, we take them on. If they are accusing you and they have evidence, then they should report them to the police, because it's against the law. It's against the law.
From the Ashanti Regional Head Office of the Electoral Commission, my name is Zana Boachi Dankwa Yatom, Kumasi.
The Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abrahima, has expressed disappointment with the President for refusing to furnish it with a full KPMG report on the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Strategic Mobilization Limited deal. The Presidency declined a right information application submitted by the foundation seeking the full KPMG audit report on the revenue mobilization agreement between the GRA and SML. In a letter addressed to the Media Foundation for West Africa and signed by the Chief Director to the Chief of Staff, H.M. Wood, the Presidency expressed regrets over its inability to fulfill the request, highlighting the confidential nature of the KPMG report. The full details of the response from the Presidency reads, upon careful consideration and in accordance with Section 5(1)A and B.I. of the RTI Act, I regret to inform you that your request has been refused. Section 5(1)A and B.I. states that information prepared for or submitted to the President or Vice President containing opinions, advice, deliberations, recommendations, minutes, or consultations is exempt from disclosure, and that disclosure of such information would compromise the integrity of the deliberative process by revealing the thought process, considerations, and influence on decision-making reserved for the highest officers of the land. The full KPMG audit report comprises opinions, advice, deliberations, and recommendations that are integral to the President's deliberative process and therefore qualifies as exempt information under Section 5(1)A and B.I. Understanding the public interest in the GRA SML contracts, the President has published the principal findings and recommendations of the KPMG report in a detailed press statement issued by the Office of the President on April 24. Thus, the public remains informed while respecting the statutory restrictions on specific disclosures. Well, Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abrahima, says it is disappointed at the President's posture describing the refusal as an abuse of Section 5(1) of the RTI law by the President.
Talking about a report that was submitted to the President, of course, we are mindful that when a report is submitted to the President, until the President has gone through the whatever deliberative processes that he would want to engage in on the report, it will be exempt. And so we waited. Even as people were asking, when is the President coming up with the SML report and so on and so forth, we never submitted an RTI request until the President himself, demonstrated to Ghanaians that as far as the KPMG report is concerned, he is done with it. He has looked at it, deliberated upon it, looked at the opinions expressed, looked at the recommendations made and everything, and came out to say that he has accepted the recommendations of the KPMG report and said that and indicated to us some of the findings that the KPMG people or KPMG had made, and also indicated his directives. So if you have accepted the reports, communicated whatever you want to communicate to us about in terms of the findings in that report, and giving your directives, the question is, what is there to be deliberated upon again? Is the President telling us, or the Presidency saying that the President is now going to meet with SML, or meet with GRA, or meet with both parties to now deliberate on the contract that is supposed to be renegotiated and those that are supposed to be cancelled and so on and so forth? Only last week or so, we read that GRA said it had terminated, aspects of the contracts. And then the bit that said that should be renegotiated was something that they are looking at. And so if all these do not suggest a conclusion on the matter, what deliberations are there for the President to engage in again? The question then is, what is the President hiding from the people? Because if what he communicated to us is basically the essentials of the report, what is the difficulty in communicating that to us? When you've made your decision, when you've given your directives. So that they talk about the information contains opinion, contains advice, contains deliberation and recommendations and so on and so forth. Yes, we understand. But the President, on the basis of this, has already made a decision. So I don't know what is it that they want to hide from the public. But as I've said elsewhere, well, fortunately, the RTI Act makes provisions for further processes if one is not pleased with the initial decision of the information holder, and we would go according to the law to take up the further processes to ensure that our rights are vindicated.
And when do you intend to do this?
Well, I mean, we are taking immediate steps to go through the next processes that we have to go through, because certainly I think the President or the Presidency is abusing the exempt provision, misinterpreting it, and it just basically to satisfy their decision not to make a full disclosure of whatever findings KPMG had made on this audit report.
Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Ada, has described the refusal by the President as a confirmation that the government lacks a political will to fight corruption, adding calls prior to the passage of the RTI law for some clauses that had the potential of aiding political appointees and covering up their shady deals to be removed have been justified by this posture.
It is very unfortunate that this is the posturing of government when it comes to the request for information. Like Sule has indicated, I do not see anything that has to do with this request. Besides, the President has used sometimes the report and showed some aspects. Why would one exempt information under the RTI law and the sections they have quoted? It is unfortunate because these are some of the perceptions that fuel the results that we get in most of our surveys. Accountability is very critical. Information is for the people to garner their support and trust for governance. And so if we all decide that we want to go this route, then it's unfortunate that people would not have trust, and we also would not believe that what is entailed is what the president is expecting of people of Ghana. Remember, the Constitution also tells us that we have the right to information. Besides that, the Constitution is very clear when it comes to the mandate of the people. It is the people of Ghana who have the power, and who actually give that mandate to one person to rule. That does not give the impression that everything that happens can be done by one person, even though he has exclusive power. We believe that some of these push strings have in the past and continually affect the perceptions of citizens of the willingness of and to fight drugs. For us in civil society and the coalition at the time, the RTI coalition thought some of the clauses in the act, in the bill at the time before it got passed, which were seen as exempt clauses, were ridiculous. However, this is what they insisted on, because I was saying it on another platform yesterday. Sometimes political actors find a way to ensure that they get away with some of these things. However, that is not the end of the issue, because the people of Ghana are informed. They know there is something that is not right. We are empowered. We can think for ourselves, and we know that some of the issues that are attended to may not inure to our benefit. It is not our benefit the government is serving when this happens. But justifiably so, when people say that some of these exempt clauses would make the act useless,
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is urging other African countries to emulate Ghana's digitalization agenda, which according to him has been the key driving force for the country's fight against corruption. Addressing participants at the annual general meeting of heads of anti-corruption agencies in Africa, Dr. Bawumia indicated that since passport and driver's licenses acquisitions went digital, the physical exchange of monies have been eliminated, thereby blocking any avenue for bribery or financial inducement. The Vice President added the elimination of over 50,000 ghost names on the National Service Scheme and SNIT through digitalization has saved the country more than 400 million cedis.
Office, Mr. Stephen Raymond Dapa Adwa, Board Chair, COP Mami Yatiwa Adodankwa, Executive Director of EOCO, heads of anti-corruption agencies across Africa and in the Commonwealth, Mr. Raymond, Dr. Roger Granting, the Commonwealth Secretariat, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. First, allow me to welcome you all to our beautiful country, Ghana. I'm sure you've all have and will continue to experience the legendary hospitality of our people. Our word of welcome is Akwaba. And while you are here, I invite you to sample all Ghana has to offer. The friendliness and the warmth of the people, the food, our beaches, the music, and our heritage sites. I wish to extend my congratulations to all of you gathered here for the 14th Regional Conference of Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Commonwealth Africa, who daily are the sharp end of helping to fight corruption in Africa. The challenges that come with stemming corruption in Africa are well documented. It is made much more complex by the increased use of technology, by people seeking to hide and launder the proceeds of corrupt activity. Ladies and gentlemen, the cost of corruption on the wealth, health, education, and economic progress of Africa is enormous. Some estimates suggest that over the last 5 decades, more than $1 trillion, which is the equivalent to all the official development assistance, was lost in Africa through corruption and illicit financial flows. This should be deeply worrying to every African, especially to anti-corruption and law enforcement agencies like yourselves. It is in that spirit that I agree with the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, KC, who said at your 13th conference last year, and I quote, "While we tend to think of corruption in purely monetary..."
Still on corruption, the turf war between the Economic and Organized Crime Organization, EOCO, and the Office of the Special Prosecutor continue to deepen over allegations of withholding of information and negligence of duty in the Cecilia Dapas Tash Money saga. Here's a news desk report on the situation.
But the concern that I have is I think there are lacunas or gaps in our law that may have to be addressed.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor on January 25, 2024 officially transferred investigation into the financial affairs and assets of former Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources Cecilia Dapa, along with their associates, to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. The OSP stated that no direct and immediate evidence of corruption was found in the seized funds and frozen bank accounts linked to Ms. Dapa and her associates after nearly 7 months of extensive investigation by it and a parallel inquiry by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, of the United States of America. The office asked EOCO to investigate the former minister for money laundering. 3 months on, the Attorney General advised EOCO to discontinue the investigation, describing the OSP referral as baseless. Godfrey Adame and the Special Prosecutor's Office will take their private disagreement to the public space.
The OSP alluded to collaborative investigations with the FBI, based on which it came by transfers from other jurisdictions into Ghana. So EOCO, in pursuance of that, wrote to the OSP asking for a copy of that report. EOCO did not receive any reply. To date, it has not received any reply. And that was way back on 1st February.
But I also like to put on record that at no point in time has EOCO requested for a copy of the FBI report. Really? We need to be very accurate. Let me also go ahead to say that even if EOCO had requested for a copy of the FBI report, it was not just going to be that simple that...
The Executive Director of EOCO, Mamiya Tiwado Dankwa, joined the public spot and strongly denied accusation leveled against it by the Office of the Special Prosecutor concerning its alleged reluctance to investigate former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa.
You need evidence to prove criminal offense. It's not about people saying it. Saying that somebody is corrupt, there's so much corruption, that one doesn't solve any problem. Whatever that we would have done had already been directed at the CID to do. We cannot continue to be doing fishing. It's like we don't even know what you are looking for. You just go about looking for something that you yourself, you are not even sure. So what I'm going to do is that with the AG's advice, I will send the docket that we received from the OSP to him, that there's nothing for us to do.
But the OSP will not allow the comments to go without a response. The office, the bank, claims that EOCO is yet to return the docket on the former minister to them. According to the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the OSP, Samuel Appiah-Darko, EOCO had returned the docket long ago. He said the OSP was therefore surprised to hear the Executive Director of EOCO claiming that her office is yet to send the docket to the OSP.
Meanwhile, some anti-corruption agencies are unhappy with the lack of cooperation between the public agencies set up to work in the public's interest. Former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo says 3 entities are not doing the public any good with their disagreements.
By the law, we have established too many anti-graft institutions. And I have said time and again that the harm that corruption does to us is about the same thing that wastage also do to us. So we have so many institutions at times fighting, therefore fighting each other, and will not collaborate or cooperate with each other, as a result of which we don't see the right thing to be done. So I think we should use this opportunity as a test case, like your guest is saying, to test it in the law court and see whether it can fly. But even if it cannot fly, it is time for us to close some of the loopholes in the law and also consolidate or put together these institutions. We have one too many anti-graft institutions, and we are not getting the results. And the amount spent on them, I keep saying, is a lot of money. If I don't remember the total amount, but millions have been spent on OSP establishing only the head office. By the time we roll it out to the regions and the districts, it will be a lot of money. However, we have Yoko. So why don't we just change the law so that we have one institution which has already established all over the country and has the proper mandate to do all these things, so that it will save the taxpayers' money being used on overheads.
The Ghana Journalists Association is expressing disagreement with the Office of the Special Prosecutor over the assertion that some journalists are financially induced to unduly attack the works of the OSP. Speaking at an event, Director of Strategy Research and Communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Sami Dako, alleged that some influential persons are behind sponsored attacks by individuals, including some journalists, on the works of the OSP. However, President of the GJA, Albert Jumfo, says that is far from the truth.
The media has been very proactive in recent times, and to correct him, I don't think that it's whatever you put out there is what we put across. So should we say that whenever the media publish news or maybe communicate positive news about the OSP recently was commended, especially in the case of Cecilia Dapa, when they actually stepped in when no one was expecting them, because Cecilia Dapa was shall I say, a minister of state for that matter under the current administration. But for their activeness and how they even stepped into the matter, the media commended them. Should we say that he paid the media to do that? We are saying that yes, under the economic indicator, the media tempted to be influenced, but it doesn't mean that the media is under influence. What we are saying is that we ought to now look at ways of improving the working conditions of journalists, improving the lives of journalists, so that at least such temptations would not even suffice. So what the OSP is saying, the comment is making, trying to compromise or trying to indict the media being compromised, we disagree. What is the case? Is it a lie that Attorney General had said that he didn't clear Cecilia Dapa, and that it was the OSP who did?
But the OSP says it didn't. It did not do that. And there's prima facie evidence it submitted to EOCO. EOCO should have investigated. Not you are presented with a set of facts, or at least the tip of the iceberg. You are supposed to investigate, not now ask whether you should even commence investigation.
So what that was the point of the OSP. Of course, I think that, yes, I understand the OSP, but then the EOCO boss has also spoken. We don't want to dive into the politicking, but I think that regardless, we will continue to caution journalists to be very circumspect and to discharge our work professionally.
We're still live on Joy News today. We're coming to you from our studios in Kokomlemle on the Fan of a Street. We'll take a break. When we return, there's the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hello, great afternoon to you. Warm welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, is optimistic that the current challenge with the cedi will be firmly brought under control soon. The local currency over the past 2 weeks has witnessed some sustained depreciation against the US dollar. But the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, maintained that necessary measures are being put in place to ensure that things does not get out of hand.
The Central Bank Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, expressed confidence in government's policies meant to spur economic growth, starting with signals in the inflation and the stability of the cedi.
I'm happy to report that our economy continues to be on a path of progress. And it is our expectations that this disinflation process already begun will be sustained. I'm sure you know that this also means that the exchange rate stability will be sustained. It's not possible to continue the disinflation process with exchange rates that are not stable. So implicit in that statement is to give assurance to you all about the stability of the cedi going forward.
He believes injecting much forex in the medium term gives the cedi a good outlook.
I'm aware that this morning, for example, every bank got a little bit of FX from the central bank. Apparently there were one or two that didn't need it. But so we are keeping a very keen eye on developments on the foreign exchange market.
On the retail market, the Ghana cedi recorded a significant loss of 2.97% against 0.90% from the previous week. Winston Taki for Joy Business.
Ecobank Ghana PLC has launched its Ecobank Million Gang promo, which seeks to reward loyal customers with about 1 million Ghana cedis. According to the acting head of consumer banking, Tara Square, the promo is a way to giving back to customers to enable them navigate the difficult economic times.
The Ecobank Million Gang promo will reward over 7,000 customers with cash prizes to a total of 1 million Ghana cedis. To participate, individuals will have to deposit 500 Ghana cedis or more for a period of 7 days to stand a chance of winning. According to acting consumer banking head Tara Square, the promo forms part of the bank's resolve to ensure that customers have a good banking experience and value for their investments.
At Ecobank, as I said earlier, we believe in rewarding our customers anytime we have the opportunity. The first few months of the year have gone by. It's not a really easy environment to be in, but we like to take the opportunity right at the beginning of the year to show our loyal customers that we appreciate the business they do with us. So we've come up with what we call the Ecobank Million Gang. We put that together because we are giving over 1.2 million Ghana cedis in cash and other prizes. So we believe that everybody who gets to be part of this is part of what we are calling a Million Gang. And we're not going to do this just this year. We'll keep these rewards going on.
He also encouraged customers to actively participate in order to win some extra cash.
We want people to receive an alert and go like, hey, my God. What I can say is that do what we've asked. Because we can't reward every single Ghanaian who is with us, we want to reward as many people as possible. The agreement is just deposit some money with us. Minimum of 500 Ghana cedis. Of course, you can do more. For those of you who want to increase your chances, deposit more. Keep it within your account for a minimum of 7 days.
That's it for business. I am Pius Kojo Baka.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdad. Ghana Athletics has denied media reports that Team Ghana self-financed themselves to participate in this year's Bahamas Relays to secure qualification to the Paris Olympic Games. Media reports suggested on Wednesday that the athletes Joseph Paul Amoa, Benjamin Azamati, Ibrahim Fuseni, Isaac Bucho, and Sean Safo-Entry financed their participation in the qualifiers that was set to see them participate in the Paris Olympic Games that will be happening this summer. In the statement, they said that the Ministry of Youth and Sports financed all the participation of the team in this event. They also stated that the Ministry of Youth and Sports has always supported the activities of Ghana Athletics, and this year's World Relays was not an exception. However, Joy Sports understands that Ghana Athletics was also asked to pre-finance some of the activities of Team Ghana in its participation in the World Relays, and that the ministry will reimburse them after they get some money. So that is the details that is coming from the camp of Ghana Athletics. Team Ghana secured qualification to the Paris Olympic Games after running a season's best of 38.29 seconds in the World Relays, finishing first ahead of Nigeria, though their West African rivals also secured a qualification to the Olympic Games. That is your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. And if you go on the website, you'll read details of that statement that came from Ghana Athletics. And also, today marks exactly 23 years when about 127 football fans died at the Accra Sports Stadium during a Ghana Premier League match involving Accra House of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We've got details of the 23rd anniversary of that event on myjoyonline.com. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your time.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabua. After his exit from Empower and a break from music, Ghanaian dancehall artist Jay Derobi has returned to the music scene with an EP titled Firm After All. The 5-track project released last night signifies a new era in the musician's career following his exit from Empire Music. We have more.
In 2019, he gained visibility with his song Poverty. He entered Empower's $3,000 Africa-wide search for the continent's next big music stars without huge expectations due to his past bad luck. His journey with Empower has officially come to an end, according to the artist in a post he made on social media yesterday.
Since my time with Empower has come to an end, I'm looking forward to making more music under my own label, where I would also use my platform to develop new talent.
Jay Derobi took a break from music but returns with a new EP titled Firm After All and the establishment of his independent record label Tough Way Records. The 5-track project released yesterday signifies a new era in the artist's career following his exit from Empire Music. With all songs written by Jay Derobi, the Poverty crooner seeks to connect with listeners on a personal level, sharing his own experiences and emotions in a way that resonates with their own. Well, we wish him all the best in this new journey.
And just enjoy the naturalness of the place. The reason I chose the title Firm After All is that I was going through tough times. At the end of everything, I was still strong, I was still firm, and yeah, I'm still here.
Well, we wish him all the best. Now, growing up as a child in every Ghanaian home was quite exciting and fun, and the craze for telenovelas back in the day was a thing in most households. Last week, we took you down memory lane of some Ghanaian TV shows. Today, we continue with foreign telenovelas that captivated Ghanaians while growing up.
We just could not wait for a time to gather around the TV to catch an episode of these thrilling telenovelas and discuss them with friends the following day at school. Let us all take a moment to appreciate the good old telenovelas, which brings every Ghanaian some memories. The most popular telenovelas tend to have a few things in common: a quest for revenge, an illicit affair, and some major family dysfunction. But that's exactly what makes them good. Regardless of their believability, we could not help but get sucked in. We rounded up some of the best telenovelas of all time. First off is Acapulco Bay. This was one of the earliest telenovelas that had people glued to their TV set. So captivating that someone actually lost their house in an inferno, after which they procured a generator just to watch the show.
We're in the right position. We have each other right now.
Sunset Beach was a series that followed the love lives of the people living in the Orange County coastal area named Sunset Beach on the coast of California. In the case of Esmeralda, the show pitted a rich family against a poor countryside girl who lived with an old relation. And oh my, the theme song for Rosalinda made the show 99.9% attractive to its audiences. The movie is considered as the most expensive television production in Mexico and the most watched telenovela in the world. In the year 2000, Rosalinda had 2 billion viewers worldwide.
Well, it's a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yehua. And of course, my favorite was Rosalinda.
Yes, of course. You did capture Sunset Beach.
It was in.
It was in.
Yes,
okay,
I did.
And my bad.
Yes, my sweet Fat Valentina and all that.
The other one, Juana la Virgen.
Yeah, Juana the Virgin when it comes to English.
Those are the days that telenovelas started popping up. Thank you for bringing us showbiz. That'll be it for the bulletin. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. So enjoy the rest of our programs.